Hi, I'm Dr. Reyna. I am going to go over Southside Place Animals Hospital radiology, x-ray, operating, and safety procedures. So you should have the safety procedures, a copy of them that you can go over, you can keep for yourself. So this manual establishes procedures to minimize radiation exposure and danger to employees. We have them so that we're in compliance with the Texas Department of State Health Services. So our x-ray facility is registered with that department. We have a certificate of registration. There are also rules that are posted that come from that organization. So those are also posted in here in radiology. At the end of this video, we'll show you where that is. So the rules require that a radiation safety officer be designated. For Southside Place Animal Hospital, I am the radiation safety officer, so if you have any questions or concerns, just let me know. So the first section, if you're following along on your handout, this is A, operator safety. Under number 1, there are individual monitoring requirements. So any adult who's likely to receive any type of exposure here at our practice will have their own individual monitoring badge. This is what a badge looks like. So these badges should be worn in an unshielded location. So if you're doing any type of x-rays, you should be wearing a shield. The badge needs to go on the outside of your shield. We don't want to know what you're being exposed to inside the shield. We want to know worst case scenario, if you had no protection at all, what you're being exposed to. So always wear it on the outside of the shield, typically up at the neck. At our practice, we do not feel like there's really ever any reason for a pregnant woman to be doing x-rays, so you will never be asked to do that. But if any type of situation should arise, you should note that within the state regulations, there should be an individual badge for the baby as well, and that's actually worn under the apron. But again, if you are pregnant, please let management know you will not be asked to do x-rays. We don't feel like you should be doing that. The badges are each assigned to an individual person, so you should never switch out badges. Even if you are filling in or working for somebody that day, you should be wearing your own badge, not someone else's badge. The badges are stored in the surgery closet. We'll show you at the end where they're kept. Isaac Rosario is responsible for maintaining the records and the badges, so if you have questions specifically about the badges, you can always ask Isaac. You could also ask any of your managers. The monitoring device readings are located in the state radiology binder, which is kept in the vet's office. I will show you at the end of this video where that is located. That is available to any employee to look at if you ever want to. So again, you should have access to that. If you are working at another job in addition to our practice and you have radiation exposure there, you need to let the radiation safety officer, who's me, know so that we can figure out what your cumulative dose is. We don't want you being exposed to radiation here and radiation there that might put you over a safe level. The use of protective devices. So, okay, that we just finished with section A. We're moving on. Well, that was A1. We're moving on to A2, the use of protective devices. So protective devices like lead aprons, gloves, and shields are used to achieve or to reduce the exposure to radiation and to keep the radiation as low as is reasonably achievable. When you watch the radiation safety videos, they always talk about the ALARA principle that stands for as low as reasonably achievable. So moving on to B, we don't do fluoroscopic procedures, so we don't need to be concerned about that. But the protective devices are stored in the x-ray suite. We will show you those in just a second at the end. We check these aprons and shields annually, so once a year we check them for holes, cracks, any type of defect that would make them less safe. Certainly if at any point you feel like there's a problem with one, if it gets dropped, if it feels crunchy, if it feels weird to you, please let us know so that we can stay on top of that. A record of the checks that we do on those are also kept in the state radiology binder, so if you ever want to take a look at that, that's available. Also, with regard to the protective devices, if you are shooting x-rays, you should be wearing lead. That means the apron, that means the thyroid shield, that means the gloves. If you're not able to get the shots that you feel like you need with those devices on, then let the vet know. We need to do something to change the situation. The change can't be that you wear less of the protective equipment. With the exception of shooting dental x-rays, it's slightly different. You should still be wearing a apron and a shield. Your hands shouldn't be really on the pet while shooting that, but the gloves wouldn't really be feasible for that. The holding of animals, x-ray tubes and films. So we're on to number 3. You should never be touching the x-ray tube, which is this. You shouldn't be touching that when you're shooting x-rays. If you are holding an animal down, you should never be standing directly below the tube. You should be standing to one side, which means on this table, you will need 2 people or you will need a sedated pet. One person should not be shooting one x-ray because you're standing right by the tube, which is where the x-rays are generated. That increases your exposure. If we're not able to get the shots that we need, again, let the vet know. We may need to sedate the animal, we may need to change something, but increasing your exposure is not what we should be doing. Posting notices, instructions, and reports to workers. This is number 4. Read the notice to employees sign that's here in the x-ray suite. We'll show that to you in just a minute. Again, the certificate of registration is posted. It is also available in the state radiology binder. Your rights and obligations as a radiation worker are found in state code as listed here in this document. And then the rooms in which the x-ray machine is located and operated is a radiation area and is restricted. There are signs on the outside of the doors that say it's a radiation area. So everyone should know that radiation is potentially happening in this room. We're moving on to letter B, dose to operators. Occupational dose limits are found, again, at this in this Texas state code at that particular location. If that's something that you're interested in, we can help you find that code. Again, if an employee is pregnant or becomes pregnant, you can voluntarily inform us so that we will help you take the necessary precautions to not be exposing you or your baby to radiation. If there is any incident where you suspect there's been a radiation incident or overexposure, you need to immediately notify the radiation safety officer. That's me. Operation of the x-ray machine and film processing. So we're on to number C1, ordering of x-ray exams. The only person who can order an x-ray be taken is a licensed veterinarian. So you can't just decide to shoot x-rays just because you want to. And we can only take x-rays, a veterinarian can only order x-rays of animals. We can't order x-rays of humans. So on to number 2, the operations position during exposure. During the exposure, the operator should be positioned so that their exposure is as low as reasonably achievable and protected by an apron, gloves, or other shielding. So again, what we were talking about, moving away from where the beam of radiation is generated. So that takes 2 people usually if you've got an awake animal. Using a technique chart. So we actually, all of our radiation or all of our x-ray machines have a built-in technique chart. So we need to make sure we're selecting the right technique within the software, and that helps reduce the amount of radiation that's generated by using just the right amount, but no extra. Restricting the alignment of the beam. So that's collimating down, shooting just over the area we're interested in, which allows us to get the technicians taking the films further away from the radiation beam. So we want to basically shoot over the area we care about, not just a big wide area scattering more radiation than we really need. The use of portable machines. So we do have a somewhat portable machine. It is portable. Our dental x-ray machine is portable. It also needs to be used safely, so the person using it should be wearing lead and should never be in line with the direct beam. So hands need to not be in the pet's mouth as we're shooting those x-rays. Digital imaging acquisition systems, we're on to number 6. We use a digital imaging acquisition system. That means both our dental and our regular x-ray system. The images are stored digitally, so they're not on film. They are on the computer. So the protocol on how we maintain the quality of the films is also in the state radiology binder. So if you ever want to take a look at that, that binder lives in the veterinarian's office. I will show you in just a minute where that's located. The inventory list is maintained by Courtney Lovell and, Lovell. And it also lives in that state radiation binder. So I will now take you on a quick tour, show you all the things that we talked about.
Okay.
Okay. So we're here in radiation. Again, you can see this is where the beam is generated. This is where we're wanting to get our bodies as far away as possible from the beam when you're shooting X-rays. This right here is our state veterinary registration. This right here is the notice to employees that has expectations and rules and regulations for employees. So that's where those are located. This is the box of monitoring badges, and I'll show you in just a second where that is normally kept.
Okay.
All right, we're in the surgery room. I have removed the napkin from the box that appeared to be serving no purpose. This is where these badges live. So right here in this little window cubby of the surgery suite.
Okay.
All right, we're here in the veterinarian's office. This is where the state radiation binder lives. It is this blue binder right above Dr. Reyna's desk. It's always accessible. It's always here. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask or pull the binder. And that's it. Be safe.